Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Backstone Boxing. Now, man, the the 168 division has been a division that has never been undisputed. What that means is no one has ever had all four titles, major sanctioning titles of the sanctioning bodies, right? The WBA, IBF, WBO, and the WBC, right? Caleb Plant was the last guy with the belt. Uh, he has the IBF. Canelo has everything else, right? Now that being said, man, there's another champion at the division who was stripped, not because he lost, but because he had problems outside the ring, and that was David Benavidez. And when Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant were trying to negotiate for this undisputed bout, there's a lot of problems with the negotiation. That being said, man, Canelo Alvarez has seemingly moved on to Dimitri Bivol, right? Which is a fight that nobody asked for. Let's just be honest. Nobody asked for it. It's a good fight. It's a good fight, but nobody asked for it, right? And during this whole time since Canelo Alvarez, he's such a star, right? Such a star, such a star. His name has been connected with Caleb Plant because Canelo needs Caleb Plant to make history in the sport of boxing, to become the first Mexican super middleweight undisputed champion, right? So Caleb Plant has been getting a lot of clout lately. He was getting a lot of buzz. Everyone's talking about him. He even reacted to him not getting this Canelo fight on the PBC. A really big deal, right? That being said, man, Caleb Plant decided to move on to bigger and better things and fight former WBC two-time champion David Benavidez, right? In the same weight class, super middleweight. This is basically a unification without the belt, because David Benavidez is undefeated. He's never lost before. Like I said earlier, he lost his belt due to problems outside of the ring, right? We're not going to get into specifics, but he lost it outside the ring, right? That being said, man, David Benavidez has been, his name's been out there too, because he's been getting clout by challenging undefeated 160 WBC champion Jamal Charlo, right? Saying, man, listen, fight me, I'll fight you, I'll come down in weight. I mean, David Benavidez is doing whatever trying to get that fight with Jamal Charlo. So that being said, man, two of these fighters who are chasing these big names, they're not gonna get these fights. They're both being ducked. Both being ducked for whatever reason. They're gonna fight each other, man. Finally, man. They see Al Heyman pulls a Joker out the deck, man, slaps it on the table and says, "Gotcha." Goddamn, man. Canelo Alvarez going to fight Bivol, and basically unification is going to happen at 168, like I said, without the title. But understand, David Benavidez is always seen as a true WBC 168 champion. Canelo Alvarez got a vacant title when he fought Abney Yildirim, right? So that was Canelo Alvarez. If you didn't know, that was his sparring partner. Abney Yildirim was his sparring partner. I'm not making that up. So he basically got a sparring partner and made him fight for a title for WBC, and he requested it. I mean, the stuff in boxing is wild, man. It's just super corrupt. You know, I wish I could get my sparring partner and say, hey, man, listen, WBC, man, make this guy a mandatory, and I fight him for a title. And the fight looked real cupcake, let's be honest. Yildirim got hit like once and gave up. And it was just, you know, he looked shocked like he never fought the guy before when the guy sparred with him. So it's just crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. Canelo Alvarez, always with the games. Always with the games. But the big dogs are fighting now, man. The two must duck fighters at 168 are definitely going to fight each other now. You know, for whatever reason, Canelo Alvarez is seemingly getting everything he asked for. Heard he was going to get $40 million for the fight, right? I heard he was, he had stipulations in the contract saying if he's hurt, Caleb Plant can't move on to the next fight, and he starts fight Canelo. But it's a one-way agreement. So if Caleb Plant gets hurt, Canelo can move on. Weird stipulations like that. I mean, he was giving him everything, right? I mean, Caleb Plant said sure, and Canelo Alvarez still find a way to get out the fight. So, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, this is good. This consolidates power at 168 to see who's truly the best. And this Benavidez versus Plant fight, it just got bigger because, like I said earlier, both these fighters were calling out big names. They didn't get their fight, but now they're going to fight each other. This adds solidification of being elite, right? Now, this is going to be a big fight, man. Who's going to win this fight? is anyone's guess. Wow. I mean, I just don't know what to say, man. I gotta watch the training from both these fighters, see how they're preparing. I know Caleb Plant was definitely in the mode because he was, in negotiation to fight my boy Canelo Alvarez in September. Benavidez, he said he was gonna go down in weight to fight Jamal Charlo, so maybe he's in even better shape because he was trying to go down in weight. So he's definitely watching his diet. One thing he did have problems with in the past was watching his diet because he did miss weight one time and was stripped of the WBC title. But that's here nor there. This is the future, and this is definitely going to be a fight that everyone's asking for. And no one's really disappointed with the Canelo fight anymore. People were pretty happy about the Caleb Plant versus Benavidez fight. Now, we're going to see how the whole, and I guarantee the thing that's wild is this fight's going to be in September, and I'm probably going to make a whole nother video about this, but this fight is going to be most likely on Cinco de Mayo. It's going to be in September. They're going to be challenging Canelo. So this is a big deal. This is a slap in the face at Canelo and said, if you're not going to fight me on Cinco de Mayo or Mexican Independence Day in September, me and David Benavidez will fight on Mexican Independence Day in September, and we're going to see who do the bigger numbers. We all know who the bigger numbers are going to be. Canelo's a star, but I'm sorry. We just don't know whose numbers are going to do better. We just don't. Dimitri Bivol is a big name fighter, but he's a hardcore fan big name fighter, right? We're going to see how big numbers he can do. Guys never really fought anyone of note to really solidify him outside the hardcore boxing fan, right? The common person does not know Dimitri Bivol, right? There's still a lot of fighters at 175 light heavyweight that a lot of people just don't talk about, right? Because they never fight each other. I mean, there's a lot of Eastern Europeans that never fight each other. The Dimitri Bivols, the Sergey Kovlevs, the Artur Beterbiev, these guys never fight each other, right? There's just a lot of unanswered questions at the higher weight classes, right? Even Gilberto Ramirez, undefeated Mexican fighter, right, at 175. Still, these fighters have never fought each other. And Gilberto Ramirez is 42-0 with 28 knockouts. So, there's a lot of undefeated fighters, and you could say you think one fighter is better than another, but the fact of the matter is none of these guys really fought each other, and they're building a resume. But I mean, they're building a resume fighting everyone besides the best of the best. So it's a who's who guess. Anyone can say anyone's the best up there, but no one really knows until they fight each other. So while Canelo Alvarez is fighting Dimitri Bivol and he's highly regarded, I mean, how good is he really? He hasn't fought any other top guys, so we don't know. We just don't know. So yeah, man, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace.